They're harvesting your energy, how to protect your energy permanently. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the energy change, like something invisible shifted in the air? Suddenly, people grow quiet, uneasy, even defensive. You ask yourself, did I say something wrong? But here's the hard truth no one tells you. It's not about your words. It's about your energy, your very presence, and how it stirs hidden shadows inside those around you. This video is packed with profound insights, information you won't find anywhere else. So watch closely, stay until the end, and you'll discover how to protect your energy permanently and why your presence makes some people uncomfortable, even fearful. In the timeless wisdom of Buddhism, every being carries within them both light and shadow. The shadow, known as kilesa, is the hidden mental defilement, fear, anger, jealousy, and all the impurities that cloud our true nature. When you walk through life with authentic, mindful presence, you naturally awaken these shadows in others. This isn't about blame or fault. It's about understanding the natural ripple effect caused by your awakening light. If this resonates with you, hit the like button, leave a comment saying, "I own my energy," and don't forget to subscribe for more deep, life-changing content. Because mastering your energy is not just a skill, it's a spiritual revolution, and you're about to lead it. Energy as the mind's radiance. The Buddha's teaching begins with a profound truth. Mind precedes all phenomena. What this means is that everything we experience, every action, every feeling, every interaction, starts from the state of our mind. Our energy, then, is not some mysterious force floating in the air. It is the visible radiance of our inner world. It is the clear mirror of our mindfulness, compassion, and inner balance. Imagine your mind like a lotus flower blooming in a muddy pond. The lotus does not become the mud, nor is it sullied by it. Instead, it rises above, shining brightly and offering beauty in the midst of darkness. Similarly, your energy, your presence, can bloom with clarity and kindness even when surrounded by confusion or negativity. This radiant presence is more than just charisma or charm. It's the natural outcome of living with awareness, watching your thoughts, embracing your feelings, and responding with compassion. When your mind is steady and clear, your energy becomes like gentle sunlight cutting through a cloudy day, revealing what has been hidden in the shadows. But here is the important point to understand. When your light shines brightly, it often illuminates the shadows within others, the fears, wounds, and denials they carry inside themselves. This isn't a burden you need to carry or a problem you must fix. Instead, it's a mirror showing what they must face on their own journey. In Buddhist practice, this is an opportunity for both you and others to awaken. Your radiant energy invites others to see their own truth, not to judge or blame, but to recognize what is real and what is illusion. This moment of reflection can be uncomfortable because shadows hide where there is pain or fear, but it's also the doorway to healing and freedom. When you realize this, you begin to understand that your energy is a gift, not just to yourself, but to the world. It is the gentle power of awakening, shining quietly but unmistakably. The more you nurture your mindfulness and compassion, the more your energy grows into a light that can guide others back to their true nature. So, the next time you notice that your presence stirs others, makes them uneasy or defensive, remember that this is not your fault. You are simply the lotus blossoming, the light breaking through the darkness. And in that breaking, there is the possibility of transformation, not just for them, but for you as well. The shadow and projection. Why people react long before the term shadow was coined by Carl Jung, the Buddha was already teaching about the veils that cloud the human mind, those hidden layers of suffering, denial, and confusion that obscure our true selves. In Buddhist thought, these are called kilesa, mental defilements like ignorance, attachment, and aversion, that veil the clear light of awareness. When your presence, steady, authentic, mindful, enters a space, it can awaken something in others that they've been avoiding for a long time. Their shadows stir. These shadows are not evil, but parts of their inner world filled with fear, shame, or unresolved pain. Imagine a deer suddenly caught in the beam of a flashlight in a dark forest. It flinches, freezes, or runs. This startled reaction is dukkha, suffering, manifesting through defensiveness, avoidance, or even hostility. This reaction isn't about you as a person. It's about the parts of themselves they do not want to face. Your calm and clarity are like a mirror held up to their unconscious mind, reflecting truths they have long hidden. This can trigger discomfort because it demands recognition and, ultimately, transformation. Here is where your compassionate understanding becomes crucial. You are not called to resist these reactions or take them personally. Instead, your role is to remain centered, grounded, and loving, holding space for their suffering without becoming entangled in it. This is the heart of metta, loving kindness, practice. Being present with others' pain without judgment or reaction. Let me share a story. I once met a senior layperson, a woman deeply puzzled by how her calm and clear presence seemed to provoke coldness and distance from her colleagues. At first, she thought she was doing something wrong. But through patient mindfulness and reflection, she came to see that her peaceful energy was gently awakening the fears and insecurities they buried inside. While some recoiled, others were inspired to start their own journey toward peace and self-awareness. This is the paradox of shining your light in the world. It may unsettle some, yet it plants the seed for awakening in others. Your shadow work is not just personal healing. It becomes a compassionate beacon, inviting others to begin their own healing journey. Understanding projection is key here. When people project, they are unconsciously attributing their inner fears or flaws onto you. They might call you too intense or difficult, but these are not reflections of your worth. They are signs of their own shadows reacting to the truth you embody. So when you encounter avoidance, criticism, or hostility, practice ukkha, equanimity. See it as the ripples caused by the deep currents beneath the surface, currents that each person must learn to navigate in their own time. Your compassion does not mean you fix others' shadows. It means you hold your own light steady, patiently, lovingly, trusting that illumination is a process. In this, there is great freedom. When you no longer personalize others' reactions, when you embrace the role of the calm observer and compassionate witness, your energy no longer becomes a battlefield. It becomes a sanctuary, an oasis where truth can be met without fear and healing can begin. Energetic boundaries, a practice of self-compassion. In the core of Buddhist teaching, self-care is never about selfishness. It is the embodiment of metta, loving kindness, in action. The Buddha taught that compassion begins with oneself, because only a well-nourished heart can truly serve others without burning out. When you fail to set energetic boundaries, you become like a cup that is so full it spills over, absorbing every ounce of others' suffering, turmoil, and unresolved pain. Without these boundaries, your energy field becomes a chaotic sponge, tangled and drained by the emotional storms swirling around you. You might think you're helping, but instead, you risk losing your own center, mistaking others' shadows for your own truth. This is why mindfulness, the practice of clear, non-judgmental observation, is so vital. The Buddha advised us to watch thoughts and feelings like clouds passing across the sky. They come and go, but the sky remains vast and open. Energetic boundaries, then, are not walls of coldness or detachment. They are gentle, conscious limits that protect your inner light so it can continue to shine brightly. Setting boundaries is a radical act of self-compassion. It honors your own well-being while still holding space for others. It says, I care for you, but I also care for myself. Imagine a bodhisattva, a being dedicated to the liberation of all sentient life. Such a figure tirelessly supports countless beings, yet they also retreat into silence and solitude when needed. This retreat isn't escape, it's replenishment, a way to refill their wellspring of compassion so they can continue their work with clarity and strength. Similarly, your energetic hygiene requires intentional moments of retreat and renewal. Practical tools for this include mindful breathing, a cornerstone of Buddhist practice. When you breathe deeply and with awareness, you ground yourself in the present moment. You create a buffer between your energy and the chaotic currents around you. Visualization is another powerful method. Picture a soft, protective light surrounding you, a radiant mesh that allows love, truth, and clarity to flow freely, but filters out negativity, manipulation, and emotional toxins. This is not about building walls that isolate you, but about creating a sacred space where your energy remains pure. Finally, be discerning about where you invest your attention and emotional energy. Not every conversation or connection deserves access to your inner world. The Buddha's teachings encourage wise friendship, kalyana mitata, surrounding yourself with those who uplift and inspire, not drain or destabilize. By cultivating these energetic boundaries, you protect your precious vitality without closing your heart. You become like a serene lake that reflects the sky, neither absorbing every ripple nor resisting the natural flow. In this balance lies freedom, a life lived with compassion for self and others, strength without rigidity, and presence without exhaustion. Polarization. Who is ready to wake up? In the journey of awakening, one of the most profound truths you'll come to understand is that not everyone is ready or willing to meet you at the frequency of your authentic truth. This reality can feel isolating, even painful at times, but it is a natural part of the spiritual path. It reflects a core Buddhist teaching known as the law of dependent origination, paticca samuppada, which explains that all phenomena arise in dependence on conditions. Simply put, awakening cannot be rushed or forced. It must unfold in its own perfect time when the conditions are ripe. Your presence, rooted in mindfulness, clarity, and compassion, radiates a certain frequency, a vibration of truth. Some souls resonate with this frequency instantly, drawn to your light like moths to a flame. These individuals sense a deep invitation to liberation, an opening of the heart and mind that leads to transformation. For them, your authenticity becomes a path, a mirror, and a safe harbor. Yet for others, your authenticity triggers fear, resistance, or rejection. This is not because your truth is wrong or threatening in itself. Rather, it confronts their attachment to illusion, their clinging to familiar identities, and the comfort of unexamined beliefs. When your presence exposes the cracks in their mental and emotional armor, their natural response can be defensiveness or dismissal. This is not personal. It's simply a reflection of where they are on their own journey. I recall a story shared by a monk I once met. He spoke of his experience teaching in a remote village. Some villagers eagerly embraced his teachings, their hearts open and ready to receive the Dharma's transformative power. They walked with him on the path of liberation, inspired by the light he reflected. But others mocked him, their eyes clouded by attachment to status, tradition, or pride. They derided his simple robes and humble manner, unable to see beyond surface appearances. Yet, the monk did not take their rejection to heart. He understood that their resistance was rooted in their own attachments, the very veil that obscured their vision. He held compassion for them without needing their approval or validation. This is the profound balance of the awakened one, to shine brightly and clearly, yet to hold all beings with equanimity and loving kindness, regardless of their response. This polarization, the drawing near of some and the distancing of others, is an invitation to deepen your own practice of compassion and patience. It reminds you to trust the natural unfolding of awakening, without forcing or shrinking your light to appease others. You are not here to convince or coerce. You are here to be fully present, a living embodiment of truth. In this dance of connection and distance, remember, those who reject your light are not enemies, but fellow travelers still caught in their own shadows. Your role is not to fix or change them, but to hold steady in your own awakening. By doing so, you create a space where true transformation can eventually take root for you and for those whose hearts are ready to receive. Attraction of empaths and energy vampires. When your presence is strong, mindful, and rooted in authentic compassion, you naturally become a beacon, a light in the sometimes murky sea of human emotions. This radiant energy has a magnetic quality that draws two very different kinds of people into your orbit: sincere seekers yearning for growth and healing, and those still caught in the grip of craving tanha or aversion, dosa, often unconsciously seeking to feed off your vitality. The Buddha long ago warned about the influence of miccha mitata, wrong friends, those who, knowingly or not, can mislead us on our path. In this context, wrong friends are not merely people with ill intent, but anyone whose presence or energy can destabilize your balance, pull you into their suffering, or cloud your clarity. Empaths and those with sensitive hearts recognize your grounded energy as a sanctuary. These individuals often carry their own burdens and wounds, and your calm presence offers a rare space where they can lower their defenses and simply be. Being drawn to your clarity allows them to experience respite, a pause from the chaos inside. This connection is beautiful and sacred because it fosters mutual healing and growth. Yet, alongside these genuine seekers, your energy may also attract what we might call energy vampires, those who unconsciously or consciously attempt to siphon your emotional strength. These are people still entangled in patterns of craving, fear, or unresolved trauma who latch onto your presence to soothe their inner turmoil without taking responsibility for their healing. In Buddhist psychology, this dynamic is deeply tied to attachment and suffering. When others attempt to offload their emotional pain onto you, it can drain your own reservoir of peace and compassion. If you are not careful, you may become entangled in their karma, the complex web of causes and effects tied to their unresolved issues, losing sight of your own path. Discernment here is essential. The Buddha taught panya, wisdom or insight, as one of the core qualities necessary for liberation. This wisdom guides you to recognize when to open your heart and when to protect your energy. It is possible, and indeed necessary, to offer help and hold space for others without sacrificing your own well-being. Setting energetic boundaries is an act of loving kindness toward yourself and those around you. It prevents burnout, preserves your capacity for genuine compassion, and models healthy relational dynamics. When you choose carefully where to invest your energy, you become a wellspring rather than a drain. Practically speaking, this might look like noticing when a conversation leaves you feeling depleted rather than uplifted, or when someone repeatedly leans on you without reciprocation or effort toward their own growth. Compassionate detachment, a state of caring without clinging, allows you to maintain connection without being consumed. Remember, the path of awakening is not a solitary one, but it requires careful navigation of relationships. The true friends and fellow travelers will respect your boundaries, uplift your spirit, and inspire your journey. The others, those still caught in their own shadows, offer lessons in patience, compassion, and self-protection. Ultimately, your mindful presence is a sacred gift, not only a source of healing for yourself, but a lighthouse for others who are ready to embark on their own path. With wisdom and compassion guiding you, you can embrace this role without losing yourself. You are a beacon, not a sponge. The power and practice of protecting your energy. In life's stormy seas, the image of a lighthouse stands out as a powerful metaphor for the human spirit. Steady, unwavering, shining bright amid the darkest nights and fiercest storms. You are that lighthouse. Not a sponge that soaks up every wave of chaos, but a beacon whose light guides both yourself and others towards safety and clarity. The Buddha taught that all suffering arises from attachment, from clinging to what is impermanent and misunderstood. When your energy field is left unguarded, you risk becoming a sponge, absorbing the emotional storms, fears, and unresolved pain of others. This absorption clouds your own clarity, draining your vitality and fogging your awareness. But this is not just a metaphor. It is a direct experience many of us face. Imagine yourself as a calm, deep pond reflecting the sky above. When a storm passes overhead, the surface ripples and churns, but the water's depth remains pure and still beneath. That depth is your true nature, your original mind, clear, vast, and untouched by passing disturbances. Energetic boundaries help you cultivate this inner depth, allowing you to reflect the world without being overwhelmed by it. Mindfulness, the Buddha's tool for energetic clarity. The Buddha emphasized sati, mindfulness, as the key to liberation. Mindfulness is not just a mental practice, but an embodied presence. It trains you to observe your thoughts, emotions, and sensations like clouds drifting across the sky. You notice without grabbing hold or pushing away. This creates a spaciousness, a buffer zone between your true self and the incoming emotional energies of others. Remember the story of the Buddha's enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. Mara, the demon of illusion, sent countless disturbances, fear, desire, doubt, to distract and derail him. Yet, the Buddha sat unmoved, radiating compassion and presence so powerful it transformed Mara's attacks into silence. This is the power of being a beacon. Your energy does not absorb negativity. It transmutes it through awareness and loving kindness. Practical steps to nurture your inner lighthouse. Ground yourself with breath. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, return to your breath. Breathe deeply, slowly, and with full attention. Each inhale draws you back to the present. Each exhale releases what is not yours. This simple act anchors your energy and reminds you of your center. 2. Visualize protective light. Imagine a gentle, radiant light forming a shield around you. This light allows love, truth, and clarity to pass through, but filters out chaos, manipulation, and negativity. Visualize it daily before social interactions, work, or challenging moments. 3. Set intentional boundaries. Learn to say no without guilt. Saying no is an act of compassion for yourself and others. It preserves your energy so you can be fully present when you say yes. Remember, even the bodhisattvas take time for retreat and replenishment. 4. Observe without absorbing. Practice witnessing emotions and energies around you without internalizing them. Use affirmations like, "This is not mine to carry," or "I observe with compassion, but I remain free." This mental discipline protects your energy field. Classic Buddhist wisdom on self-care. The Dhammapada tells us, "Let go of anger, let go of pride. When you are bound by nothing, you go beyond sorrow." Self-care and energetic boundaries are forms of letting go. They are not selfish retreats from the world, but necessary acts of wisdom and compassion that allow you to remain available, clear, and loving. In the story of the lotus, the flower emerges unsullied from muddy waters. Its beauty is a reminder that despite the muddy chaos of life, your true nature can shine forth radiant and pure. Energetic boundaries are like the lotus's protective leaves, shielding the delicate bloom until it unfolds fully. The importance of regular energetic hygiene. Just as you wash your hands daily, clean your home, or charge your phone, your energetic field needs regular cleansing. Without it, you accumulate emotional residue from others' fears, anger, and suffering. Over time, this cloudiness dims your light and makes your path unclear. Daily practices like meditation, breathwork, and visualization are your tools to clear this buildup. Even a few minutes each day can recharge your inner lighthouse, restoring your vitality and clarity. Ask yourself, after social interactions, how do you feel? Energized or drained? Clear or foggy? When you notice fatigue creeping in, it may be a sign your energetic boundaries need reinforcing. Compassion starts with yourself. You are not here to soak up the chaos around you like a sponge. No, you are a beacon. Like a lighthouse standing tall through the fiercest storms, your role is to hold your center steady and unwavering, even when the world around you feels like it's spinning out of control. Your energy is sacred. It's your most valuable currency. Nurture it daily with mindful breathing, compassion, and firm boundaries. This is more than just self-preservation. This is awakening. Your journey, whether you call it individuation, enlightenment, or simply becoming your true self, is about facing your shadows, embracing your wholeness, and living authentically in the light of truth. Remember what the Buddha said, "No one saves us but ourselves." Your presence, your energy, calls others to awaken alongside you. You are the spark in the darkness. And here's the hard, beautiful truth. Not everyone will welcome your light. Some will resist, some will shrink from it. But your worth is never measured by their acceptance. Truth disrupts, truth liberates. So don't shrink to fit the comfort of others. Keep rising, keep shining, stand tall in your power. This video is packed with powerful insights and practical wisdom that can change how you protect and harness your energy for good. If you found value here, don't keep it to yourself. Like, comment, "I own my energy," and subscribe for more deep dives into the mind and spirit. Because the world needs more beacons, more people who refuse to dim their light. So, are you ready to own your power and awaken not just yourself, but the collective? Let me know below.